Hi Taurus, welcome to your love reading for April 2019. This is Elizabeth from channelguidance.com. Okay, so I've already shuffled the decks for you and you did have one jumping card. Let me show you what it is. The card that jumped when I was properly shuffling is the Ten of Swords. So the Ten of Swords can represent a betrayal. This can represent being hurt, deeply hurt, stabbed in the back. But it also represents perhaps that you're unable to move on from this energy. This can represent you or even your partner's energy. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this back. And let's get 9 cards. This is a love reading for the sign of Taurus for April 2019. 10 of Wands. Love reading for the sign of Taurus for April 2019. 3 of Wands. Love reading for the sign of Taurus for April 2019. Queen of Swords. Love reading for the sign of Taurus for April 2019. The Sun. Love reading for the sign of Taurus for April 2019. Justice. Love reading for the sign of Taurus for April 2019. The Moon. Love reading for the sign of Taurus for April 2019. Temperance. Love reading for the sign of Taurus. Page of Pentacles. Love reading for the sign of Taurus. 6 of Cups. What's the most important thing that Taurus needs to hear about their love life for April 2019? The card that you have, Taurus, is the 7 of Wands. So this is facing things head on. This can definitely represent you really speaking up for yourself, standing your ground, setting boundaries with a partner. We'll come back to this card to see how it ties in with the rest of the reading. Also, Taurus, if you would like to get a private reading with me, just go to my website, channelguidance.com. I'll put a link down below. And you should be watching this on YouTube channel, Channeled Guidance Tarot. Okay, so let's see what you have going on here. You have the 10 of Wands, the 3 of Wands, and the Queen of Swords. So there is this energy around you with the 10 of Wands and perhaps being fed up maybe with what's going on in your love life right now. To me, the 10 of Wands is feeling really overburdened, weighed down, and maybe you even feel like giving up on a relationship, or maybe you feel like giving up on love. You could also be feeling really tired of waiting, because you do have this energy from the 3 of Wands, which to me, this is always waiting. Maybe you're tired of waiting for the perfect person to come in. Maybe you're tired of waiting for someone to change. Maybe you're tired of waiting for someone to contact you. For someone, it could definitely be an air sign, because you have the Queen of Swords here, so that would be Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, male or female, sun, moon, or rising. Now, this can even represent your energy if you have a moon or rising sign and an air sign. It could just show that you're very much tired with your current situation. If you and your partner do not have air in your chart, to me, the King and the Queen of Swords, this represents someone who's very much out of touch with their emotions. Maybe it could even represent your energy. That's one thing that I'm getting. Because the King and the Queen of Swords, they analyze things to death. Instead of using their intuition, which that would be the moon here, I'm already looking at it. Instead of using your intuition, you may be analyzing as far as like, why are you still waiting for this person? Or, why have things not worked out? And, I mean, considering that this is the first card, you're feeling tired, you feel fed up. I feel like, you may be analyzing something too much. Okay, next row, the Sun, Justice, and the Moon. So all major arcana. One thing that gets my attention here is Justice, because this represents that something was not fair to you. And again, this could definitely tie in with the first row up there, where you're tired of waiting for someone. You're tired of waiting maybe for something to change in your love life. The Justice card is telling you that you will have your day. The Justice card means there will be justice. Perhaps someone will be making things up to you if this is about an ex. This can definitely represent an apology coming to you, or someone trying to make things up to you. And if you've been waiting for an apology, you have the Sun here. The Sun does represent happiness, a positive outcome, positive energy, love. So again, if someone let you down, someone broke your heart, I do see some type of apology here and success. I feel like you accept their apology and you're able to work things out. You do have the Moon, so I feel like part of the message is to use your intuition. I don't always get that with the Moon, but it is a very psychic energy. Trust your intuition regarding someone who might be coming back into your life. With the moon also, it represents very kind of emotional energy. Very emotional energy, and considering that you're starting with the 10 of Wands, you may not be seeing things clearly as far as this person that you're waiting for. You may not be seeing things clearly, and I mean the 7 of Wands. So I feel like when this person appears back in your life, make sure that you really speak your truth and stand your ground. Be firm with them, especially if this is someone who let you down. Now the moon can also represent the sign of Pisces, and let's see here, we also have Justice, which can represent the sign of Libra. So for some of you, this can be your partner or your ex. Now down here, you have Temperance. Let's see. There we go. We've got Temperance, Page of Pentacles, and the 6 of Cups. So for some of you, you've got someone from the past popping up here. I mean, it definitely ties in with the Justice card. I feel like this is someone that just really messed up. Someone who really messed up. Past energy here. Perhaps the need to take things slow. I mean, seeing Temperance and the Page of Pentacles, this is saying like take things slow. Again, the main energy is the 7 of Wands. You're going to have to really speak your truth first. You're going to have to draw the line, set boundaries, especially if you're taking someone back into your life. This can even represent healing. Like this card does represent forgiveness and compassion. There's a need to forgive, which definitely ties in with Justice. So you have a double energy here of forgiveness. There's a need to forgive the past. There's a need to look very carefully at what happened in the past. So, I mean, for some, I'm reading for thousands of people, and it's a general reading. So for some of you, it can be an ex where you just have to think about everything that happened. Even if you don't like what happened, you still have to look at it to process it and let it go. For those who are already coupled, you have to, maybe look at your past with this person and kind of see like, what is this trying to tell me? What changes do we need to make? There's definitely, energy here of healing and forgiveness that needs to happen around the past, whether it's like an ex or it's like your past with a specific person. For some of you, Temperance can even represent someone from the sign of Sagittarius. Okay, so let's see what else comes up for you. What other messages are there for the sign of Taurus for April? 2 of Swords. What other messages are there for Taurus for April? Judgment. What other messages are there for Taurus for April? King of Wands. Okay, so these 3 cards right here. So, I mean, I keep saying it over and over, but I feel like someone from your past is going to pop up again. I mean, I say that because of the Justice card, the Temperance card, the 6 of Cups, and now you got something like Judgment. Judgment, I mean, this can be, yes, if you're already in a marriage, you're coupled, this could be, your relationship rising from the ashes. You thought it was over. You thought that maybe you were headed towards divorce. Maybe there'd been a separation. This is you really repairing your existing relationship, rising from the ashes. You've got a court card here, fire sign, King of Wands. So this would be Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, male or female, sun, moon, or rising. There can definitely be a fire sign returning to your life. Or perhaps your partner is a fire sign where you're really healing this relationship. You're rising from the ashes. Tough decision. You've got the 2 of Swords here. To me, this is a card of decisions that are just really difficult, really complicated. I feel like you have a complicated decision to make, either around a fire sign, again, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, or just kind of someone in this energy. If your partner or you don't have any exes who are fire signs, there's just, this is something that's very difficult, and this card does represent being stuck. So things may not move forward until you make a decision to take them back or move on. You've got to decide here. But I do see an apology, kind of a double message here of an apology coming to you with Justice and Temperance. Okay, let's see what the confirmation deck wants to tell you. What other messages are there for the sign of Taurus for April? We've got the Page of Cups. What other messages are there for the sign of Taurus for April? Look at that. The King of Wands again. Definitely a fire sign coming back to your life, or you're making things work with a fire sign. And the High Priestess. What's the most important thing that Taurus needs to hear about their love life for April 2019? The message that you have, Taurus, is the Knight of Swords. I mean, I feel like you have some type of decision to make. The Knight of Swords is kind of saying whatever, throwing caution to the wind and just jumping right into things. Make sure you do this first. Because the Seven of Wands means that you do have to set certain boundaries. You really have to speak your truth. I mean, there's like so many messages around this reading. And since it's a general reading, I can only try to pick up on this and that and this and that. But I mean, this can also be things changing very quickly for you. So if you feel like your love life has been in a rut and nothing has changed, or there's been no, maybe no new kind of, people coming in, this can definitely represent new people coming in for those who are single. But it also just means there's a lot of things changing. To me, this is like the Tower, but a court card, kind of. I don't usually read the Knight of Swords like a court card, but things changing very quickly, very unexpectedly. Let's look at these 3 cards. So you have the Page of Cups. I mean, this can definitely be a new relationship for some of you. You've got a huge message here with the King of Wands repeating itself. Where is he? Here he is. Fire sign. Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. Male or female, sun, moon, or rising. The universe is screaming fire sign for the sign of Taurus. And if this is you, if you have a moon or rising, it could definitely be you. Maybe this is a message that you need to do something, because I see that you're tired of waiting. But I do feel like for many of you, you do have a fire sign around you where there can be, kind of a renewal of the relationship here. And then you have the High Priestess. So the High Priestess is saying, use your intuition here. Use your intuition. Because remember, I told you the Queen of Swords can be that someone is analyzing things too much. You're tired of a situation. You're tired of waiting. You're tired of waiting for someone to return. Although I feel like they will. Trust your intuition around this person. Trust your intuitions. Remember, you did have the Ten of Swords jump for you. That was a card that was already on the desk when we started the reading. There was some type of betrayal. There isn't an energy of betrayal around Taurus. So really use your intuition when, deciding if you're going to let someone stay, in your life, or you're going to take somebody back, or maybe you're meeting somebody new. It's important that you trust your intuition in the month of April. So let me take one last look at this. I feel like the most important things that Taurus needs to hear, I feel like use your intuition, but you do have success around you for the month of April. But this is only if you're really kind of making decisions here. Because remember, the main energy was the Seven of Wands. You really have to speak your truth, stand your ground. Because it's like someone is trying to come back into your life. Where there is, forgiveness. Forgiveness is an issue here. And this is something that you have to look at very carefully. You don't want to do this. You don't want to just say, whatever, okay, yes, I love you, I'll take you back. The Page of Pentacles is saying, look at this very carefully. It doesn't mean you don't take them back. And I say take them back because you got the Six of Cups right next to it here. Look at things very carefully. Perhaps, decide if this is really fair to you. Have they really changed? There's confusion here. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the X spread with this deck right here. I already shuffled it, so let me get these out of the way for you, and we'll keep in mind everything that has come up. For the X spread, it can be for those who are, maybe in a long-term committed relationship, but it can also be maybe someone that you dated and you just want to know, is there a chance? Are they going to call me again? And timing does not matter. If you were involved weeks ago, months ago, years ago, doesn't matter. Okay, show me the energies around Taurus and their ex. 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 Okay, so this is what you have, Taurus. Let's see. Five of Wands, Nine of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles, Seven of Pentacles, Six of Wands, Eight of Wands. So you have 2 5s. So the 5s are telling me that there's something difficult around you reconnecting with your ex. The 5s to me represent a problem and a challenge. There is something challenging there, but no big surprise because this is your ex. This is a reading for those of you who are no longer with that person. This person is no longer in your life for whatever reason. So I do see a problem there, but the good news is you have the Six of Wands here. This represents victory. This means that whatever problems, obstacles that you have, you can work through them. You can work through them. It's just, it's tricky. You've got the Seven of Pentacles here, which does represent that you have to be patient. You have to be patient around the situation with your ex. I mean, you don't want to do this. You don't want to rush into things with the Knight of Swords. That's just throwing caution to the wind. Let's go ahead and start at the top. So you have the Five of Wands, the Nine of Pentacles, and the Five of Pentacles. So the Five of Wands, I mean, for some of you, it can definitely represent maybe what happened in the relationship. If there was a lot of fighting, a lot of arguments. This is a card of bickering and just people who are very different. People who, you know, maybe you didn't have a lot in common. People who are not on the same page. But, I mean, the Five of Wands can also mean there's an inner struggle going on between you and your ex. Perhaps they're struggling as far as reconnecting with you. Maybe they're struggling with trying to apologize for what they did. Because, I mean, you had kind of a lot of messages. It was not just one. It was quite a few, including messages like, you know, Judgment and the Justice card and Temperance. And those are all major arcanas. So I feel like you've got an ex coming back, but perhaps they're struggling with something within them. Like they're struggling with, you know, reaching out to you or deciding what they want. It can even be someone who's very proud, and I don't always get that. But, I mean, the Nine of Pentacles, this represents self-worth, integrity. Maybe, I don't know, it also feels like it's you. Because you had the Seven of Wands as the main energy. For some of you, I mean, it's hard to kind of like pick and choose. Is it for you? Is it for your ex? When it's a general reading, but the Nine of Pentacles is a card of strength, of self-respect and self-love. And this is kind of the same energy of, you know, really speaking up for yourself, standing your ground. So I feel like there's something like, there's a really big struggle around your ex. Maybe where you have to do what's best for you. I feel like that's the best thing I can tell you about the Nine of Pentacles. This is a card of putting yourself first. How much are you worth? Again, this is a card of self-worth and self-confidence and feeling good about the decisions that you're making. So I feel like you will have a chance to reconnect with your ex. How does that make you feel? Like, are you thrilled, or do you feel like, oh, they did so much, they put me through so much? That's something that you want to work through. Now, look at this bottom row. Seven of Pentacles, Six of Wands, Eight of Wands. So, I mean, the Seven of Pentacles, this is also saying be patient with the situation. It could be that your ex is doing a lot of thinking about you, but they're really, you know, kind of fighting things off with the Five of Wands. This is a really deep personal struggle where it's not pretty and it's not easy. The Seven of Pentacles is saying, you know, be patient. But it's also a card of, like, making decisions. So I feel like you want to be careful around the situation. You want to be careful. I don't know, it feels like there's a choice. You had the Two of Swords. This is a very strange reading. I mean, I feel like there will be bits and pieces for some of you. Some of it may not make sense. You had the Two of Swords in the first reading that I did for you. And the Two of Swords is, you know, a very complicated decision. I was looking for it here in my little spread that I did for you, but I don't see it. But I feel like there's a choice, because the Seven of Pentacles does represent choices. And choose wisely. You do have victory. And also you have the Eight of Wands, which, I mean, for many of you, this can be the actual communication with your ex. The Eight of Wands means that, you know, this is kind of like a surprise, like the Tower. The Eight of Wands can represent communication that comes completely out of the blue. It can also just represent that there's a change in the situation. This is change and excitement that happens after, you know, a period of nothing. So it could be that maybe you and your ex have been broken up for a very long period of time. Maybe you've even kind of given up hope. Maybe that's why you started with the Ten of Wands. In the first spread that I did for you, here it is. You started with the Ten of Wands as if you're tired. You're tired of waiting. You also had the Three of Wands. I see you being tired of waiting for this person. Waiting for them to come around. Here they are. These were your first two cards in the first spread. But finally, here it is. Communication. There's a change in the situation. But maybe, I don't know, for some of you there can be somebody new where you have to think like, do I really want to give up that relationship, you know, and go back to this person? For some of you, you might want to. You might jump on that decision. Tough choice. You've got the Two of Swords. I feel like you have some really complicated situation around your ex, but you have choices. You have choices that you need to make. Otherwise, your love life will be stuck. Choose wisely and think about things very carefully. Victory. I mean, whatever you choose, you do have very positive energy there. Let me get, let's see here. Let me get one more card for you. What final message is there for Taurus about their ex? Final message. What do they most need to hear about their ex? Beautiful. The Sun. The Sun. This is telling you there's... Actually, this is also a repeat card. It was right on the top here. Success. There's positive energy around you and your ex reconnecting. I mean, the Sun's the most positive card, and I decide to pull one final card for you. One final card, and it just happens to be the most positive one that has repeated itself. So although, you know, it could be a little tricky, I mean, it could be that your ex is really, you know, struggling with kind of making up their mind, reaching out to you. Maybe they are the ones that have to make a tough decision. Maybe even kind of leaving another relationship to be with you. I feel like there's something really complicated around this, but the Sun, positive energy. I don't always get this, but the Sun can also represent marriage. So maybe for some of you, maybe you were already engaged to this person and you broke up. Maybe you were headed towards, you know, kind of a more committed relationship and then you broke up. The Sun can definitely represent that commitment, being back on the track, you know, back on track as far as marriage or engagement. Again, I don't always get that, but I feel like for some of you, you're not just getting back together with an ex, you're moving to a higher level of commitment. Okay, Taurus, this has been your love reading for April 2019. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll speak to you again next month.